For the third PGA assignment, you are going to be collecting data from some part of the country that you're interested in and looking at its climate data. You're going to make some comments on that climate data, and you're also going to put it into Google Earth so that you're able to look at it there as well. So this is how you start. You go to usclimatedata.com, and then when you're there, you go and search for the place that you'd like to look at. And rather than enter location, I recommend instead that you go to the map that shows the United States, and then go ahead and click on a state you want to look at. I'm going to go to Pennsylvania, and then go to a small town near where I'm from, Huntington, Pennsylvania. And you'll see that the climate data for Huntington shows up. It shows monthly data. That's what we're most interested in. Daily, a history, but also a geo and map tab that we'll get to in a second. Let's first look at the data. It shows the average high and low, January through December. It also shows the average precipitation. We don't need to worry too much about that right now. And then it has a handy chart, which is called a climograph. We're not going to be able to see that very well in Google Earth, but you might want to take a look at this as you spend a little bit of time thinking about why does this particular place have the temperature distribution that it does? Is it a continental climate? Is it a maritime climate? Is it high in the mountains? Is it in a low location? What sort of things might impact its temperature regime, as it's referred to? So you can go ahead and think about that and produce that on your own. I'm just going to show you how to do the Google Earth part right now. If I click up here on the address bar, I can say Control-C, and I can copy that address right there. Then I'm going to click on the Geo and Map tab right here. And the important thing that we're looking for right here is the longitude and the latitude. Write these down. If it says minus in longitude, that means that it's west of Greenwich, England. If it's a positive number under latitude, it means it's north. So remember that we're looking at latitude and longitude, north and west. If you've written those down and you've copied that address for the climate data, you can go ahead and minimize this, and you can bring up Google Earth Pro. So I have it already focused on Huntington, but let's zoom out here just so you can see how this works. Go ahead in your search bar, type in the latitude first. Mine was 40.48, and then put the little N next to it for north. And then type in the latitude, 78.01, and I'm going to put a W for west. And then when I hit return or search, you'll see it takes me right to the location. And this actually shows where the data has been collected. Sometimes it's collected near an airport. Sometimes it's collected next to something like a university. It just depends on where that particular weather station is located. We can go ahead and close this now by hitting this X button. Now what we want to do is we want to put a place mark where it was. And so now I've clicked the Placemark button, which was located right up here. Let me show you that again. When you do this the first time, it's going to appear as a little yellow push pin, like that. I'll go back to that. But I'm actually going to change it, and I would like you to change it to another color as well. And I'm going to put it as a little blue mark and say OK. I also want to change the name of this as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and call it Huntington, Pennsylvania Climate Data. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this Add Link button right here. And I'm going to click that Add Link, and I'm going to paste rather, that address that I had before. And then I'll say OK. It's important you say that. You'll see that it appears right here. That's going to point us to the web page. When you're done with this all, you can close the dialog box by saying OK. And then what's going to happen is it's going to appear over here under your My Places. I'm going to scroll away from this just so you can see what happens. If I double click on this, I'll fly right back there. to the location I was before. And it brings up a little balloon that allows me to click on it and take a look at that climate data. Now, typically, that little climograph doesn't work. So I'm just going to go back to Google Earth now. You can go ahead then and say File, Save, and save this place. And once you've done that and save that place, then you can go ahead and send that to me. So again, File, Save, and then Save My Place. That's going to save it onto your computer. And then you should be able to save it as what's called a KML file as well. Save Place As. You can save it onto your desktop. It will call it the name Huntington, Pennsylvania Climate Data, or wherever you want to save it, and save it as a KMZ file. I'm going to save that, and then I'm actually going to delete this. I'm going to go away from this spot now, and then it's on my desktop right now, which I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to double click on it on my desktop, and when I do that, you'll see that it will take me right back there. If I click on it, that little marker will appear, and I'll be done. So go ahead and submit that KMZ file to me on Blackboard, along with some discussion of what you think controls the temperature in this area, and you'll be done. You should also make sure in your discussion to talk a little bit about observation of climate data and how those data have been created over time, and the importance of observing data to create something like a climate record in the scientific process.